Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Me, I've been sick to my stomach, like literally sick. I have this just sickening in my stomach wanting to puke, and I just can't. I want to talk to y'all about some of the names and companies that I have found that's donated to Trump, rather it be to Donald J. Trump for President Inc., Maggot Inc. Yeah, they made it into a corporation. And Trump 47, Immigration PAC, or whatever it is. There are donation packs for several different things. He's not working for the United States at all. At all. Everything he's doing is being done for major donors, personal donors, companies, anybody that has paid into him. He's doing stuff that they want him to do that's going to benefit them personally and their company. He's not working for the United States. He's not upholding our Constitution. He's not doing anything for anybody that doesn't benefit him in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. He's not. None of it's being done to better the economics, the laws, history, nothing. He's working for his buddies. That's legit what he's doing. Now, stick with me. Hear me out. Look up FEC.gov. It says showing at the bottom. When you scroll down to the bottom of the page, it'll say showing 1 to 30 of 747,000 entries. There are 747,000 names of individuals and companies that have donated to Donald Trump in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And then there's a list of the 40 biggest billionaires that has donated to Trump. Go to wikipedia.org. There are the companies. Look up oil companies of the United States. It's not updated because I didn't find Greenland Oil on there yet. That's out of Houston, Texas. That's going to invade Greenland. Okay. Uber is involved in it. Penske's involved in it. Cash App's in it. PayPal's in it. Yeah. I've got a whole bunch of paperwork on everybody and every way that they're kind of connected. Well, a lot of people. Let me put it like that, and it's like a spider web. You know how the spider web starts off like this, and then you get the little stems that come off of it, and then it starts getting bigger, and then there's more stems, and it'll bloom out, and you'll get more stems, and it'll bloom out bigger. All these people are interconnected. Vicky Holbert, or Holbert something, anyway, she is interlinked into an oil company. She's recently resigned and retired, but she's been to Mar-a-Lago, okay? She says it was for a business dinner. If you stop and think about it, You remember Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about how Donald Trump said that all his friends would get hurt, that she met all of her friends at Mar-a-Lago. Okay? So I'm going to name these people and these companies, and I'm going to read some stuff to you guys on some of this. And some of these people are tied into owning sports teams and being co-founders, having stocks in them, all kinds of stuff. So this could even cause sports teams to collapse because nobody will want to go to their games anymore. Which is another reason why they were probably trying to buy FIFA. Elon Musk and entities, technologies, and space. Steven Schwartzman, Blackstone, Miriam Adelson, Sheldon Adelson, which is her husband, Diane Hendricks, Harold Hamm, Andrew Bill, Bernard Marcus. You've got Arthur Blank, which I think is the co-founder of Home Depot, and he's the Republican donating to the GOP and stuff. And then you got Bernard Marcus, which is a co-founder of Home Depot, and these two are at odds because Arthur's donating to the GOP and Bernard is a Democrat, him and his wife. So they're kind of back and forth with each other. You've got Meta, which is Cash App, Facebook, and Zuckerberg just bought a castle in Ireland. You had Ivanka and Jared Kushner trying to buy the island, the protective island. And then you have Donald Trump talking about possibly going to Australia after the presidency. So all these fuckers think they're going to flee the United States after they have caused our country to fucking collapse. Any country where these folks wind up at, run them back. Send their motherfucking ass back to the United States. Send them back. You've got Amazon, General Motors, BlackRock, Target, McDonald's, Delta Airline, Pfizer. And if you recall, Pfizer is one of the companies that was helping to make the vaccination for COVID or whatever, Corona or COVID-19. You got Walmart, Visa, Occidental Petroleum Energy Transfer Partners, Apple, Google, Lockheed Martin, Microsoft, Comcast, Planeteer Technologies, Nexera Energy, T-Mobile, Hard Rock International, Vanguard, BlackRock, Berkshire Hathaway, Tim Cook, Sabai Khan, Alphabet Inc., State Street, Fidelity, T. Rowe, Steve Ballmer, Insiders, Brian Roberts, Xfinity, NBC Universal, NBC, Sky Group, Greg Brockman, Anna Brockman, Alex Karp, Jerry Jones, Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley is the one that owns a bunch of sports teams and's got stock and trade, and some of them are co-founding and stuff like that. Kelsey Warren, philanthropists are involved. Vicky Holub, that's who I was thinking of. She was with Occidental Petroleum, and she's been to Mar-a-Lago, the one I was talking about for the business dinner. Okay, and then you've got Tillman Furita, I think is how you say it. Bill Ackman, Douglas Leon, Jeffrey Hildebrand, Kelsey Warren, Paul Singer, Jan Combe, Richard and Elizabeth Eulin, I think is how you say it. Ike Perlmutter, I don't know. Joe Ricketts, John Polson, Steve Wynn, Woody Johnson, Warren Stevens, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, Linda McCone, which is the WWE owner's wife, Jimmy John Leah Todd, however you say it, Timothy Dunn, Jeffrey Palmer, Phil Ruffin, Mark and Reeson, and Ben Horowitz, Timothy Mellon, Kelly Leoff, Phil Offler, Jeff Spritcher, Robert and Rebecca Mercer, Robert Bigelow, Jose Pepe Fanjul, Pepe is what they call him, Edward Roski, Ron Cameron, and then if you go to that fec.gov, there are 747,000 entries. I went up to a little over 14,000, and all of them I came across was for Donald J. Trump for President, Inc. Think about that. Think about that. That number of people donating to someone just to get what they want instead of actually running running the United States according to the way it's supposed to be ran and governed. The laws, regulations, the policies, the procedures, the Supreme Court, Congress, federal agencies, governmental agencies, the resources, funding everybody to make sure our country is safe, make sure our food is safe, things like that. No, he don't give two flying fucks. And I seen some history stuff on Trump interacting with Putin and the KBG. I don't know what the hell he thinks he's doing. I really don't. Because there is such a thing as treason. And it is punishable by death in the United States. You will either do what you're supposed to do according to the country and the way that our country is supposed to be ran and governed, and uphold our laws and constitution, or you're going to fall prey what's he wanting to do? I think it's crystal clear. He's Benjamin Netanyahu's lap bitch. And he's Putin's hoe. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. And he knows that his ass is going to end up in prison. That's why he's talking about possibly going to Australia. Australia doesn't like him and his family any damn way. They'll either expedite them back, or they're going to deal with him themselves. Personally, I say our government needs to send his ass to the ICC. That's what I think. That's how I feel. And I also have Amendment 1, freedom of speech. Like it, hate it, agree, disagree. Frankly, I really don't give two fucks one way or the other. I'm sick. I am so fucking sick. Then you got Beau French. He's running for comptroller of Texas. He's made several comments about deporting Native Indians, and he's running for Railroad Commission and Dakota Access. Beau French calls for Native Indians to be deported. He calls Native Indians third world savages. Look it up. It's on Snopes. Illustration, fact check, Texas GOP candidate Beau French called for deporting several Native Americans. This is disgusting. I'm curious where the fuck they think they're going to send them. They were here before Christopher Columbus. Yep. He also called for the denaturalization of U.S. citizens. He described, and a lot of this is archived, Texas Tribune reporter Carlos Noguera Ramos, who wrote a story about French as a soon-to-be deported journalist. Ramos' bio on the Texas Monthly website says he is Puerto Rican, which makes him a U.S. citizen. This is so gross. This is so gross. Sarah I can't think of her last name. Something Hart is the Democratic nominee or whatever for comptroller against Beau French. Vote for Sarah. Don't vote Beau French in. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That is absolutely disgusting. I've got so many pages of research that I've done figuring out who is who and what they're connected to and what companies and how they donated and all this shit. And the amount of money that was spent out on Trump would help take care of our country's families for 5 years on 3 square hot meals a day, a couple of snacks for the kids throughout the day, a doctor's appointment once a week, every week, for 5 years, housing, it's gross. It's really legitimately sickening. Y'all should look these places up that I was telling y'all, and you will see the amount of money that he's been paid. So not only did they pay into him to get him back in the White House, right along with Russia, and Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump was given, there was over $230 million donated to AIPAC, to Trump. So, Putin owns him, Netanyahu owns him, all of these oligarch billionaires, they own him. All those tariffs was just a way for him to get money in. That way he can pay these people back. He's paying them back for voting him in. That's what all this money is. $100 billion have been reimbursed to big corporations. That money was reimbursement on the tariffs. So when the tariffs kicked in and it cost them to buy the product to put on the shelf, they paid it to get it imported or whatever. And then we bought the products at a higher cost and tax cost. So they not only got reimbursed by us when we purchased the product, he took the money in that the government took in and used that to reimburse big corporations. So they have just tripled their fucking money on what they spent out to get him in. At least half of the people donated to him in one way or another in 2016, 2020, 2024. So they're all looking to get their money back. They're getting their hand greased. How many of them do you think has been to Mar-a-Lago? How many of them do you think is involved in the Trumpstein files? Too fucking many. I'm going to go ahead and just go over this. You got Amazon, Apple, Google, Lockheed Martin, Microsoft, Comcast, Planeteer Technologies, Nexera Energies, T-Mobile, Hard Rock International. Is that the same Hard Rock as Hard Rock Cafe? Amazon, Apple, and Google are among the major corporate donors. Google donated $20 million as part of a lawsuit settlement involved with YouTube. YouTube suspension of Trump's accounts. Trump's accounts were blocked on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat. You've got Vanguard, BlackRock, Berkshire Hathaway. Alphabet Inc. is the parent holding company of Google. And the purpose was to create a more organized structure for Google and its subsidiaries, allowing for greater autonomy in various business sectors. Where have we heard those type of words before? Founders are Larry Page and Sergey Brin, and they are out of Mountain View, California. Lockheed Martin Defense. Okay, Lockheed Martin is an American aerospace, defense, security, and technology company headquartered in Bethesda, Maryland. It was formed by the merger of Lockheed Corporations and Martin Marietta in 95 and is the largest contractor for the U.S. federal government, predominantly serving the Department of Defense. Where do you think Donald Trump's sons got the goddamn contracts to be involved with the DOD and being involved in all the drones and all the defense shit? Lockheed Martin. There's your name, Lockheed Martin. I told y'all, I do a lot of damn research. You got Microsoft, owned by several institutional and individual investors. Now, Microsoft, we know the actual founder of Microsoft is Bill Gates. Bill Gates, I believe, is also the same jackass that's got stock in water. He's been having stock in water for 20 years or more. So all this AI shit has been in the works for at least 20 years, 25 years. He knew that our water was going to be contaminated. So he took stock in water. That way he was able to get all the bottled water that he needed or wanted, or filtered water into his house. How much land do you think these motherfuckers have bought? Where do you think they're going to go when all this shit surfaces and comes to a head? Okay? Institutional investors hold about 76% shares in Vanguard, is the largest shareholder. Vanguard is 9% approximately. BlackRock is 7.6%. State Street is 4%. Fidelity is 2.9%. T. Rowe is 2%. And the shares that Vanguard has is 702 million. And then BlackRock has 59 million. State Street is 300 million. Fidelity is 216 million. T. Rowe is 152 million. You got Steve Ballmer, largest industrial shareholder, has approximately 4.48% of Microsoft, which equals up to approximately 332/333 million shares. Insiders, approximately 6% owned by company insiders. Retail investors is 24% of the shares. Comcast. Brian L. Roberts owns Comcast holding at 1% of equity interest and 33% voting power in the company. Comcast Corporation is a major American multinational telecommunications conglomerate. It operates under various brands and divisions. Xfinity provides cable television, broadband internet, home phone service. NBC Universal owns and operates entertainment and news cable networks plus NBC. Comcast Business offers commercial services to small and medium-sized businesses. Sky Group, acquired in 2018, operates in the UK and Europe. You got Planeteer Technologies, is publicly traded with institutional investors owning over 55% of the shares, led by Vanguard Group, 9.2%, BlackRock is 6.5%, State Street 4.2%. Founders and insiders hold around 8%, 8 to 10% equity, but control almost 45% to 50% of voting power, led by Peter Thiel, 3.3%, and Alex Karp at 2.2%. Then you got who are the companies and people that donated to Trump's 24 campaign. You got Greg Brockman, $12.5 million, president of OpenAI. You got Anna Brockman, $12.5 million. She's the philanthropist. Alex Karp, at least $1 million, CEO of Planeteer. Jerry Jones, at least $1 million, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Todd Boehly, at least $1 million, owner of several sports teams. Kelsey Warren, $25 million, CEO of Energy Transfer Partners. Occidental Petroleum executives, at least $1 million, various positions in the company. Notable corporate donors: Energy Transfer Planters contributed $25 million through CEO Kelly Warren. Occidental Petroleum executives made significant contributions, including $1 million to Trump's inaugural committee. And then the teams that Todd Boehly owns owns partnership in and co-founding or whatever of is, he owns stake in major sports teams, also serving as controlling owner of Los Angeles Dodgers. Where the fuck did I get Las Vegas Dodgers? Soccer, the Chelsea FC English Premier League, co-controlling owner, chairman, RC Strasbourg, Alsace French League, co-owner via Blue Co. Basketball, Los Angeles Dodgers, MLB, co-owner, minority partner. Los Angeles Lakers, NBA co-owner, Los Angeles Sparks, WNBA co-owner, Cloud9 Esports co-owner, MLB.com, /Dodgers /team /front -office /Todd Boehly. Front office directory: Dodgers, co-founder, chairman, as well as chief executive of Eldridge Industries, as well as their chairman. Eldridge Industries has more than 5,000 employees invested in more than 100 businesses. Plus security benefit chairman, A24 Fullwell Entertainment, Penske Media, which also includes Hollywood Reporter, Billboard, Variety Vibe, Rolling Stones, Life is Beautiful, Music Businesses, Worldwide, Dick Clark Productions, the investment in South by Southwest, Chelsea Football Club, chairman and owner. Boehly is on the board of the Los Angeles Lakers, FlexJets, PayActive, CAIS, Chelsea Football Club, Kane Entertainment, Kennedy Wilson, Kai's, KW, and Vivid Seats. NASDAQ Seats used to be on the board of Truebill, which was sold to Rocket Mortgage, as well as the DraftKings. Before founding Eldridge, he was the president of Guggenheim. Then he founded the credit business also at Guggenheim. He founded Boehly Center for Excellence in France. Boehly supports epilep, epilepsy research. I'm not sure how to say that one. Focused Ultrasound Foundation, Prostate Cancer Foundations, Brunswick School, College of William and Mary Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream. What did Trump something to do with FIFA by them? Kelsey Warren. Kelsey Warren is another one of the billionaires Trump is enriching. He's an energy executive. He co-founded Energy Transfer in 1996. Think about this. What was Trump and Epstein doing in 1996? He was CEO for years. Now he's the executive chairman of the board of directors. This is a Dallas-based enterprise that started small and operated in Texas as an interstate company, and is now the largest energy infrastructure firm in the United States. Started with 200 miles of pipeline for natural gas, 20 employees with Ray Davis as the co-founder. Then in 2018, Energy Transfer Partners and Energy Transfer Equity into Energy Transfer LP. Now think about that. That was in 2018. With him being tied in with Trump, Trump was tied into Epstein. He started off small with just 20 employees. Who the fuck do you think helped him get big? Now, I don't have documentation of the Epstein files proven it one way or another, just looking at the timeline and seeing patterns like I do. That's what I think happened. Energy Transfer LP has now about 130,000 miles of pipeline and associated infrastructure across several U.S. states, carrying, transporting natural gas, crude oil with other refined products. Then you got the Dakota Pipeline, where the Native Indians were protesting because the Dakota Access Pipeline, they wanted to run that shit across the reservations, which would contaminate their water and kill the animals. Dakota Pipeline oversaw the construction of the controversial $3.8 billion pipeline, which became the focus of major indigenous-led and environmental protests before completion in 2017. Political contributors known as a substantial donor to conservative and Republican political campaign include high-profile support for political action committees associated with Donald Trump, philanthropy, other ventures recognized for regional and philanthropy in Texas, and namesake support behind public spaces like Clyde Warren Park in Dallas, named for his son. He also stepped down briefly from the CEO role in 2020 before returning to the executive oversight. How has Kelsey Warren been friends with Donald Trump? Or how long? Kelsey Warren, now listen to this. And I wrote this word for word off the internet. Okay? Kelsey Warren and Donald Trump are not known to have personal relationships dating back decades. Instead, their relationship is political and financial alliance that began around 2016. When the billionaire pipeline executive first became a major donor to Trump, international presidential campaign. 2016 election, Warren began publicly supporting donating to Trump's campaign after he secured the Republican nomination, contributing over $100,000 to joint fundraising committees' policy alignment. Shortly after taking office in 2017, the Trump regime advanced regulatory approval for energy transfer, controversial Dakota Access Pipeline, cementing a strong economic alignment between the two. Continued funding. Warren has since become one of Trump's top financial backers, contributing millions of dollars across the 2020 and 2024 election cycles and hosting high-profile mega funders in Texas. Guardian.com, Dakota Pipeline Company and Donald Trump have close financial ties. Trump's financial disclosure forms shows he invested in Energy Transfer Partners. The CEO donated to his campaign. Donald Trump close financial ties to Energy Transfer Partners operates of the controversial Dakota Access Pipeline have been laid bare, with the presidential candidate invested in the company and received more than $100,000 in campaign contributions from its chief executive. Trump's financial disclosure forms show the Republican nominee has between $500,000 and $1 million invested in Energy Transfer Partners, with further $500,000 to $1 million holding in Phillips 66, which will have a 25% stake in the Dakota Access project once completed. The information was disclosed in Trump's monthly filings to the Federal Election Commission, that's what FEC is, which requires candidates to disclose their campaign finance information on a regular basis. The financial relationship runs both ways. Kelsey Warren, chief executive of Energy Transfer Partners, has given $103,000 to elect Trump and handed over a further $66,800 to the Republican National Committee since the property developer secured the GOP's presidential nomination. On June 29th, Warren made $3,000 in donating to Trump's presidential campaign. The limit for individual contributions to a candidate is $2,700 per election, and it's unclear whether Trump returned $300 to Warren or not. Trump's campaign was contacted for comment. Warren made further $100,000 donation to the Trump Victory Fund, a joint fundraising committee among Trump's campaign, the RNC, and 11 states party. On June 29th, a day earlier, the Energy Transfer Partners chief executive doled out $66,800 in two separate donations to the RNC. Trump is therefore indirectly linked to Dakota Access, a $3.8 billion pipeline development that will funnel oil from North Dakota to Illinois. The 1,170-mile pipeline has caused uproar among Native American tribes as it runs close to the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in North Dakota. A protest camp set up over fears the pipeline will poison water and destroy cultural heritage has been the scene of repeated clashing between protesters and Energy Transfer Partners security staff. A court challenge has allowed the project to go ahead. But the federal government, which intentionally approved the project, is now reassessing its decision following an outcry by tribes and has placed a temporary halt to construction on federal land. This has already been done. The Dakota Access Pipeline has already been ran. So no matter how much protesting they've done, they're not listening. They're doing whatever in the flying fuck they want to. They act like rules don't apply, laws don't apply. They think because they have all this money that they can do what they want, when they want, how they want, and to whoever the fuck they want to do it to. And not give two shits on who they step on to get it done. Personally, I cherish and value my life. I'm just saying. Occidental Petroleum Executives. Who is the Occidental Petroleum Executive that contributed to Trump? Vicky Holub has personally donated hundreds of thousands, actually $1 million or more, of dollars to Trump-aligned political efforts and helped co-coordinate high level of oil industry's fundraising and stakeholder events, including attending a prominent industry dinner at Mar-a-Lago. And GT said DT told her she met all of Trump's friends at Mar-a-Lago and told her not to sign that bill to make the Epstein Transparency Act a law because it would hurt his friends. Yeah. We're still waiting on the other shoe to drop on the rest of those files. FEC laws prohibit direct corporate contributions to presidential candidates. Holub and top energy figures organized broader political action committee PAC donations and fundraising networks within the fossil fuel sector in order for them to be able to back Trump's re-election bid. Vicky Holub donated personally $400,000 to political committees supporting Donald Trump during the 2024 campaign election cycle, as well as joint fundraising contributions totaling tens of thousands of dollars through Trump 47 committee and RNC. There's a lot of campaign disclosures and tracking groups. One is Open Secrets documented individual contributions up to hundreds of thousands of dollars plus a $400,000 contribution reported by advocacy groups analyzing FEC data. (2015 and 2016 donors to Trump). This is what's been processed to the Make America Great Again PAC. In MAGA, by the way, MAGA, they turned it into MAGA Inc. Sylvia West, Greg Watkins, Robert Van der Zanden, that's a mouthful, Glendon Thompson, Eric Straight, Glenn Rager, Alta Prout, Robert Payden, Angel Martinez, again, Ashley Madison, Donna Laney, Thanasis Gialamodis, that's a hell of a name, John Gayling, Lazos Galfi, Steve Fierce, Ellen Drysdale, William Dorback, Juden Dakel, Carlos da Silva, Pablo Q, Thomas Cotney, Jane Clark, Justin Chumak, Jessica Cho, Thomas Brown, John Basiliga, Maria Ofelia Aplicador, Air Charter Team, Philip Zulli, Curtis Zoder, James White, Thomas Watley, Joanne Tootle, and Cynthia Tronstad. Each individual and companies represent a mix of technology leaders and executives from the fossil fuel industry, reflecting a large base from Trump's campaign. Companies that donated to Donald Trump's 24 campaign, which is Meta, Amazon, GM, General BlackRock, Target, McDonald's, Delta Airlines, Pfizer, Walmart, Visa, Occidental Petroleum, Energy Transfer Partners, Elon Musk, Technologies, major donors. Okay, Sheldon Adelson, casino billionaire, donated $25 million to his campaign. After securing the GOP nomination, 24.2% of the contributions coming from those giving over $100,000. Representative Tony Wild, Wisconsin. Oh, okay, I know what that one is. Talk about that later. Yeah, we'll discuss that one later. But it's absolutely sickening. But y'all ought to go look all this stuff up that I was talking about and get some more information on it, because the amount of money that's involved in this is disgusting. It could legit help take care of the United States people for food, medical care, everything for at least 5 years. For everybody, okay, throughout the entire country. When he said, I don't care about you on his campaign, I just want your vote, he meant that shit. I've tried to tell people before, stop that. I've tried to tell people before, he meant that shit. He really doesn't care about you. And he made it clear when he said it on the news media again, that he don't care about the American people's financial decisions or situation. And he really don't. He genuinely don't. He's trying to save his own ass. That's why I told y'all that the Save America Act dealing with the voting, that's not Save America. That's called Save Donald Trump's Ass Act. He's trying to stay in power until he gets everybody paid back that he has to get paid back. Because if he don't, they're going to have his ass. And he wants that ballroom built, because if the American people in Congress kicks his ass out of power, they're still going to have his ass. And we're going to have his ass. So whoever can get to him first, better get to him. And truthfully, I'd prefer the motherfucker be up underneath the jail cell. Locked up underneath that prison. Put him in the state penitentiary. Matter of fact, just send him to the ICC. he would actually probably be safer at the ICC. I'm just saying. Y'all do what the fuck you want to do. But I probably pissed in the Supreme Court Justices' Cheerios because I emailed them about that voting ballot, that mail-in voting shit. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I really don't care no more. They have pushed people around and tried to silence us and taken everything from us that they can try to take. Our food is getting poisoned. They're trying to kill us through our food. They're trying to let ice kill us. They're trying to run the electric bill up so fucking high that you can't afford to run your electric. And in Texas, it gets up to 112, 113 degrees with the heat index. That is stroke level. That will definitely cause you to have a heat stroke, and a lot of people die from it. It will absolutely kill you. Real shit. There's still a lot of names to come up off that fec.gov link. Look at that. All these papers. There's writing on all these papers. Full pages. Full pages. It's like that spider web I was telling you. The more you dig in, the bigger it gets and the deeper it gets. It's a lot. It's a whole lot of investigating, and that's one of the things I went to college for. I didn't have a chance to finish because I have a special needs child, and by the time I got done and got off working at the state prison as a corrections officer, I was exhausted. I couldn't retain any information. I was so fucking tired. But anyway, that's a lot of what people do on investigations. It's a lot. And then each person in Congress, once we get these people voted in during midterms, they're all going to have to take 3 to 4 situations and investigate each situation. And there's going to be anywhere from 800 to probably 1,500 pages on each subject. Most of it, you don't necessarily have to have the investigating, because Donald Trump just don't know how to shut the fuck up. He said it out of his own mouth. He was talking about draining the swamp and the enemy from within. He is the enemy from within. Every accusation is an admission. Owning up to his own shit. He don't want everybody else to realize that or know that, but it's called reverse psychology. You have to read into what the fuck he's saying. There's a little bit of it that's bullshit. He's just trying to deflect on what he's doing over here because he don't want you to see that he's having worm-filled meat sent to us from Venezuela because he knows the economy's failing. He knows the cost of the food is so fucking high. $150 only barely feeds 2 people for a week or week and a half, depending on what kind of shit you get. And the stuff you get, you can't necessarily actually make it a hot, complete meal with it, because the shit you need to make an actual meal with, a happy, healthy, hot meal, complete meal, is costing close to $10 a person, maybe $12 for each meal now. A case of 60 eggs at Walmart was costing less than $7 last month. A case of 60 eggs this month is $9. And yes, I do get cases of eggs like that because I like to boil eggs and eat them for breakfast. I will cut up eggplants, wash them up, slice them, and have a couple slices of raw eggplant, some boiled eggs, an apple cut up and honey peanut butter with it, and sometimes some raw zucchini or squash or whatever. I make egg salad with it. I make potato salad with it. Sometimes I'll fry or scramble eggs. We use eggs around here for a lot of stuff. Eggs are actually very healthy for you. But the problem is they want to fucking poison them now. Because they were one of the cheaper things to be able to buy. And I was getting them from Walmart because you get the case of eggs like that. I don't even like to order from Walmart anymore because they're not paying truck drivers anymore. Qualcomm is also one of the people that donated to Donald Trump. A Qualcomm is a computer that the truck drivers use in their truck to communicate with their dispatchers back at the company in the whole nother different fuck-ass state. Those little domes on the top of the truck is a tracking device. That thing also helps to run your Qualcomm. I used them. I drove an 18-wheeler for fucking years. FBI's got my fingerprints and my name on file because I hauled hazmat. I sit my monkey ass at home. I don't go nowhere. I don't fuck with nobody. And as long as I sit my ass at home, I know that I'm gonna be out of trouble. Plain and simple. There is not one single solitary damn thing that I could do and get away with. Not a single motherfucking thing. Nada. They fingerprinted me 3 different times because I had to renew my license. And each time you renew your license, you renew your hazmat endorsement if you're going to continue to haul hazmat. And because you do that, when you get that renewed, you go back to your company that you work for, or you broker yourself out to if you're an owner-operator, and they take your fingerprints and put it on file at the FBI. Yep. Absolutely. So anyway, y'all got the rundown. There's a whole lot of more companies and names that's donated to Trump. Anyway, have a good night. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you another day, another time.